Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold presents a practical method for turning an abstract long-term goal into a concrete, shared picture of what a company will look and feel like in the future. Written for founders, executives, and leadership teams, the book argues that many organizations stall because people are working hard without aiming at the same target. Herold proposes a focused vision document that reads like a future press release and internal narrative, describing the company 3 years out in areas such as culture, customer experience, operations, and financial health. The emphasis is on clarity and alignment rather than lofty slogans. By making the future specific enough for employees to recognize their role in it, the approach aims to improve decision-making, prioritization, hiring, and execution. The book is commonly positioned as a bridge between strategy and culture, offering a repeatable process leaders can use to communicate direction, reduce confusion, and mobilize a team around a compelling destination. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, why most visions fail and what a vivid vision fixes. A core idea in vivid vision is that traditional vision statements often fail because they are too vague to guide real decisions. Many companies have a mission and values on a wall, yet teams still argue about priorities, hire mismatched talent, and pursue projects that do not compound toward the same destination. Herold frames the problem as a lack of shared clarity. When the future is described only in generalities, every department interprets it differently, and execution becomes fragmented. A vivid vision is positioned as an antidote because it adds specificity and lived detail. Instead of saying we will be the best in our category, it describes what customers experience, how employees talk about the culture, what operational rhythms look like, and what success metrics feel like in practice. That detail helps people self-correct without constant executive intervention. It also reduces the hidden cost of misalignment, meetings spent negotiating direction, initiatives that start and stop, and inconsistent customer experiences. By treating vision as an operational tool rather than inspirational copy, the method aims to make strategy tangible. The result is a clearer filter for what to do, what to stop, and what to say no to, accelerating momentum across the organization. Secondly, building the vision document as a future narrative, the book describes creating a written document that captures the company 3 years in the future, presented in a narrative style that feels real and observable. The intent is not to predict every detail, but to describe outcomes vividly enough that readers can picture the organization as if they were already inside it. This includes elements that leaders often leave implicit: the type of clients the company serves, the reputation it holds in the market, what the employee experience looks like day to day, how teams collaborate, and how leadership behaves under pressure. Herold encourages leaders to avoid jargon and instead write in concrete terms that employees can translate into behavior. The narrative style also makes the vision easier to remember and share, because it reads like a story rather than a list of abstract bullet points. Another important aspect is scope. The document aims to cover multiple dimensions such as culture, operations, customer outcomes, and financial health, so that no department is left guessing what success means for them. Because the vision is time-bounded, it becomes a practical planning horizon that is long enough to be inspiring but close enough to drive action. The process turns vision into a communication asset that can be reused in onboarding, planning cycles, and leadership conversations. Thirdly, using vivid vision to align teams and simplify decisions. Once a vivid vision exists, the book emphasizes using it as a daily alignment mechanism rather than a one-time exercise. Alignment shows up in how leaders communicate priorities, how managers translate goals into projects, and how individual contributors understand trade-offs. A vivid vision can serve as a shared reference point when decisions compete: which customers to pursue, which features to build, whether to expand into a new market, or how to structure roles. When the desired future is described clearly, teams can test options against it and choose the path that moves the organization closer to the destination. This reduces dependence on the founder as the bottleneck and supports delegated decision-making. The approach also helps prevent initiative overload. If a proposed project does not fit the future narrative, it is easier to decline without politics because the standard is not personal preference but agreed direction. Herold also connects alignment to consistency in customer experience. When marketing, sales, and operations share the same vision of the ideal client journey, execution becomes more coherent. In effect, the vivid vision becomes a cultural artifact that shapes what people pay attention to, what they celebrate, and what they stop tolerating, making it easier to build momentum across departments. Fourthly, making the vision real through communication and repetition. The book highlights that writing the vision is only the start. The value comes from communicating it in ways that actually stick. Herold stresses repetition and multi-channel sharing, so the message does not fade after a kickoff meeting. Leaders can introduce the vivid vision in all-hands sessions, manager meetings, and team planning, and then revisit it routinely to keep it alive. Repetition is framed as a leadership responsibility because people interpret silence as a change in priorities. The vision document can also be embedded into practical systems, hiring interviews, onboarding materials, and performance conversations. This turns the vision into a living standard for what great looks like in the organization. Communication also involves translation. Different teams may need examples of what the vision means for their specific work, such as service standards for support or quality expectations for engineering. The book encourages leaders to ensure that the vision is accessible, concrete, and emotionally resonant, not just intellectually agreeable. Another component is consistency across the leadership team. If executives interpret the vision differently, the company experiences mixed signals. By rallying leaders around a single narrative and reinforcing it over time, the organization builds shared language and reduces confusion, which helps employees feel confident about where the company is headed and how their work contributes. Lastly, turning vision into execution with planning and accountability, vivid vision connects the clarity of a future picture to the mechanics of execution. Once the organization agrees on what the company should look like in 3 years, leaders can work backward to identify major milestones, capabilities to build, and bottlenecks to remove. This backward planning mindset helps prioritize the few big moves that make the future plausible. The book positions the vision as a constraint that protects focus. Instead of chasing every opportunity, the company invests in the systems, people, and processes that match the defined destination. Accountability becomes simpler because goals and initiatives can be traced to specific parts of the vivid vision. If the vision describes a premium customer experience, then metrics, training, and staffing decisions should reflect that. If it describes a scalable operation, then process design and delegation become non-negotiable. The method also supports hiring and organizational design. Leaders can define what roles and leadership behaviors are required in the future state, then compare that to current reality to spot gaps. Importantly, execution is treated as iterative. The organization can revisit the vivid vision periodically, adjust details as it learns, and keep the narrative aligned with market conditions while maintaining a stable direction. This balance helps teams act decisively without being rigid, using the vision as the anchor for strategic planning and continuous improvement. In conclusion, this book is best suited for entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs, and leadership teams who feel their company is busy but not fully aligned. It also fits managers in growing organizations who need a clear way to translate strategy into everyday decisions across departments. Readers benefit because the vivid vision approach turns an abstract ambition into a concrete picture people can act on. That clarity can reduce internal friction, speed up decision-making, improve hiring and onboarding, and create a more consistent customer experience. When employees understand what the company is building and what success looks like, they can prioritize better and take initiative with less supervision, which improves morale and execution. Compared to many business books that emphasize motivation or broad strategy frameworks, Vivid Vision is notably actionable as a communication tool. It offers a straightforward artifact that can be written, shared, and reused, making it easier to operationalize vision rather than leaving it as inspirational language. If you want a practical method to unify a team, focus resources, and create momentum toward a defined future, this book is worth buying because it provides a repeatable process that bridges leadership intent and organizational behavior. If you would like to support Cameron Herold, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.